I'll let some of y'all join up before I start running my mouth. Oh man, this is crazy. What up, whoever that number one person who came in here is? Three of y'all now. Isaac, what up though? What's up, Jamal? You. East Side Harold. Hey, I feel you, bro. Y'all winning over there in Texas, I think. What's good, Alpha Mason? What up, Bird Gang? What it look like? It's looking crazy, is what it's looking like. Let me turn this shit down. Hold up. This offense looking like doo-doo is what it's looking like. They was jumping everything. They doing button hooks again. It's like I don't know what the hell going on, man, to be honest with you. Like we weren't ready for that game. Didn't seem like it anyway. Hit that like button when y'all get in here, man. Make sure y'all keep that energy up so that we can keep this thing flowing. I'm looking at some of the, oh my God. I ain't blaming the officiating because this was an easily one game. We could have won this game. We lost. Yep. We lost. You could put it on. You could put it on the refs if you want. I'm letting a couple of y'all come in here, and then I start running my mouth. Like I said, I mean, I'm not just blaming Kellen because there was a lot of things that like kind of caught me on that game that made me look around. Like, man, hold on. He said not to be that guy, Clay, but we know for certain had Romo been in a slump, all hell breaks loose. Hey, man, you might have a point there. What's up, Ish? Sugar Daddy. What's good? He said Dak's way too conservative. I think that's Kellen that's way too conservative. Listen, man. I'm looking at the game right now. Like I'm looking in the first quarter where we had Zeke sneaking out the backfield, like on checkdowns. That was there all day. Yeah, Tony Pollard able to do that as well. That was there all day. Like anything to the left or the right of the line was working in the first quarter. And we got a couple of crazy penalties, but you know, that's it. You know what I mean? Like we could have done some things, man. I feel y'all when y'all say Zeke ain't right, but when you only get what 9 carries, that's not enough. And we also watched him burst out there on one where they called a holding call. So Zeke is not a guy like anybody. Like if you'd have took Eddie George or Larry Johnson or any of those guys and not giving him at least 20 carries, I can understand him not getting 30 carries in this offense because of Tony Pollard. But him not even getting 20, not even 15 on a regular, that don't make a lot of sense, especially when you playing a team that's playing to stop the pass. If you watch, I'm watching the game again, right? When you watch this game, you see that they decided that they weren't going to let us pass. They came out in dime and nickel for most of the game, and were playing cover 3 and cover 4. So nobody was in the flat. So you had that all day. It was working every time we tried it. We stopped doing it. And then the running game, we weren't running into those fronts half enough, man. And then when we did run, we would run bullshit, like running right at Jones. Why the hell would you run at Jones? Like that's not where you run. That's like running. That's like deciding your game plan gonna be. Let's run at D Law and Micah Parsons. Like that's dumb as hell. Even if you are running the ball, you can't say that you were trying if that's what you're trying to do. Like that wasn't much of nothing, man. So I know I took the heat off of Kellen the week before. I don't want to be one of those flip floppy wishy washy guys, but somebody said it yesterday, and I was in here trying to argue my ass off, trying to fight it, But somebody said it yesterday. We're like, we can't rise to the occasion when we're playing teams that we think are good. When I keyword think are good, because I don't even think Arizona is that good when we played them. Like we still managed to, if we didn't miss a field goal, and we won't get some bullshit calls here or there. With all the mess that we put out there, we still managed to lose by only 3 points, which is not a moral victory at all. It's just letting you know how simple it would have been to beat these guys had we just came with our A game. And I don't see a cohesive game plan coming from Kellen Moore at this point, because everything that we said, I'm not in the NFL. I'm not one of these guys that think I know better than people who do this every day in the NFL. I'm not crazy, but if I watch film and I see it's just common sense. Arizona has never stopped any of the checkdowns to the left or the right, going east or west. None of the drag routes that the Colts did to them. They didn't stop not one in the entire game. Even when there was an incompletion, it just so happened to be incomplete. It wasn't like they did something to prevent that from happening. So when we look at it in this game, when I see they also, even the touchdowns we scored, look at the touchdown to Cooper in the back of the end zone, east to west. Look at the play from Wilson, the big play from Wilson. When you get them going or thinking east to west, they don't have any east to west integrity in their defense at all because they're blitzing all day. So they can't cover everything. They can cover all of your hot routes. So, and we were running deep into those. I just didn't understand what the hell Kellen was trying to do here, man. And it didn't make any sense. There were no short options for Dak other than your check down. Every once in a while, we had a check down option, but it just was like we were just winging it like somebody playing Madden and just trying to figure it out, calling audibles at the line. It was that type of football, man. And we're not gonna go deep in the playoffs doing that type of shit, man. So if we don't get that together soon, it's gonna be a whole problem. And as far as Kellen Moore is concerned, I'm not feeling him. I'm gonna officially step out there and just say I'm not feeling the boy, man. That ain't my cup of tea. He's a beta in my opinion because he'll come out there. He got some trickery for you. He'll come out there and he go crazy every once in the blue, but then he resorts to this type of shit. These are the type of games where just simple tenacity wins these games. If you see your quarterback is struggling for the first half and you still launching balls everywhere into the teeth of a defense that's looking for that type of shit and blitzing you, hoping that you do it. We had no blitz beaters, no nothing. Like Zeke and those guys are right behind the line. I keep saying Zeke because he was there for it. So was Tony Pollard. They had one play where they kept Tony Pollard in the block to block I think Jones again. Why the hell is Tony Pollard in the block? Like for what? If you got him out there doing an obvious passing down, either give him a draw play or throw him the ball, but don't. He's not a blocker. So if you got him in, then your block integrity is already screwed, man. But yeah, smash that like button, man. Let me go in and say hi to some of y'all people, man. Let's see. She like we 11-5, not 5-11. You people get on my last nerve. Nah, listen, man. I hear you, Jessica. I hear you, but I'm just looking at the product. We might have to play this team going into the playoffs. So I hear you about the product that we put out on the field, about our record, all that. Make sure you're hitting that like button. I hear you about our record, and that goes somewhere with me. I feel that's a moral victory. Yeah, our record is we have a good record, we have a good team, and I feel like we have a team that if we are doing things the right way, can beat any team. So I still feel that way. I'm not. This isn't a doom and gloomer, but it is a confirmation of ineptitude. You can't look at the things that he's doing, that Kellen Moore is putting out on the field, and say that he's, a savant or he's thinking. There's no thought process going into running the ball 9 times with Zeke and only 3 times with Pollard for 9 yards, like against a team that's literally not trying to stop the run at all. We don't run the ball at all. There is no balance to this offense, and I'm tired of it. I really am. I'm tired of it because we can play much better, and I'm tired of the narrative that we can't beat good teams. You can't go out there and shut people up and say, "Yo, this is what we can do. This is who we can be." If these are the types of performances you put out there every time somebody hits you with a good shot, like these guys came out there, they said, "Hey, we ain't trying, we ain't losing." That's how they came out there. You got to be able to punch those teams in the mouth too, not just the ones who want to punch each other on the sidelines and quit. You got to be able to punch the teams who are trying to punch you, and shout out to the Arizona Cardinals. They did what they were supposed to do, but nothing great. They didn't do shit great. They didn't do shit great. I don't feel like they're a team that we can't beat. That's what pisses me off the most. If we come out and we get dominated and it seems like, there's nothing that we can possibly do to stop a certain team, I can even give you that because that just means a team that's prepared for what you are and how you came to prepare. But it wasn't that, man. We don't fire off on all cylinders for some reasons. Like we came out flat. What's up, Loving Aries? Hello, hello, hello. If Kurtz could have caught that interception, it would have changed the game. Marcus Goodsby. There's a lot of ifs in that game that could have changed the game. Like if Kurtz catches that interception, facts. If Zerline doesn't miss that field goal, facts. There's a lot of things that happen where I can't just blame Kellen Moore, and I'm not just blaming Kellen Moore. The defense itself, I feel like, was doing enough to keep us relevant in this game. They kept us relevant, although there were some mistakes, some boneheaded plays there too, but not as many. Like not as many. I think they just really had an answer for what we were trying to do pass rush wise, and I think they went with my approach, which was just go get them. And they tried to go get them, but they lane discipline wasn't correct when they were going after Murray. So maybe we should have took another approach where we took. Yeah, that was in the third quarter too. If Curse intercepts that, it's a wrap. But I think it takes a turn for the worse if we're able to contain him and force him to just throw the ball into the teeth of our defense. I think we would have had a better time doing that. But I can't knock Dan Quinn for his game plan because that's exactly what I would have did to him too. I would have chose to go after him initially, but maybe I would have stopped after a while. What's good, Special K? Elijah Williams, what's up? L Gene 254. This play call, and you can't tell me that Chase can get open on and everyone he knew was everyone knew he was getting the ball. Uh which one you talking about? You talking about Jamar Chase yesterday? Yeah, facts. Facts. We don't feed anybody. You know what I mean? I don't think nothing wrong with Zeke either. I agree with you, Aisha. But yeah, we don't feed anybody the ball. We don't feed anybody. And what I mean by that is like Coop don't get fed the ball. You might feed it to CD Lamb because he keep getting like linebacker mismatches and stuff like that. But it's like if it's not obvious, we can't get him the ball. Coop, none of those guys. Wilson and Lamb will get the ball more because they're in the slot and they always got a mismatch, so that's easy to read. But on the outside, it's like nah, we don't attack like that, man. We don't attack like that. And I remember there used to be like a route progression tree for Romo and those guys. We would start them off with easy throws, things near the line of scrimmage, slants, in breaking routes, hitch routes to Dez, and see what happens. And then as they bring the defense down to the line of scrimmage to start taking those things away, then we start progressively going deep. That was, I mean, I'm not saying you got to copy that route tree or that route philosophy, but you can see it. Like you knew that that's what we were trying to do every game. I don't know what we're trying to do in any given game. We just do shit. He said, "Oh, Elijah Williams, appreciate it." He said, "Who are we resigning this offseason, especially with Gallup getting his ACL torn? You think he takes a cut and or a pay cut, I guess? What about guys like Williams and Neal?" Um, yeah, shout out to Gallup too, man. You know how hard it is to go up, pop your knee, know you popped it before you even catch the ball, still focus on the catch and come down with it. If there's a way to keep Gallup on this team, I want him. I want anybody who will go up and do some shit like that. Like I told you, I'm more about heart than I am about talent in some cases. Because I told you I got off of Connor Williams' ass because he tore his ACL and still was balling for a whole nother quarter. I take that any day because that's a guy that he might not, he might make some mistakes, but he giving you his all. That's all I can ask. As a coach myself, the best you can do is the best you can do, and the best you can do is good enough. That's what I tell my guys, and that's as long as you gave me your best, you can lose. Real shit. You gave me your best, I could deal with it. I don't feel like we saw our best yesterday. That's why I'm pissed off. But as long as you give me your best, you can lose because that means somebody just happened to be better, and that's anybody. Nobody's the toughest guy in the room. It's always somebody that can beat your ass. It's always somebody that can come out there and out tough you. But give me your best, and we not getting that. He said Kyler Murray called Dallas ass. Man, Eastside Harold, you are a Texans fan, bro. I would pump my brakes just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give you a lot of attention. Y'all, I think y'all won yesterday. If y'all did, congratulations. You have won the Bum Bowl officially. You get to ride the quarterback carousel once again next year. Hopefully, this next quarterback don't like getting his booty hole played with, and he's a franchise quarterback. But speaking of ass, anyway, you know what I'm saying? He like deep tissue massages, y'all quarterback. Anyway, let's move on though, Harold. All right, let's move on, brother. I appreciate you. All right, now let's say what else we got. Let me see what else we got to talk to up in here. Party with the stars. Dak can't throw the ball down the field. He don't throw the ball down the field. It's not that he can't. I think Dak can throw the ball down the field if we design plays for him to do so. Our biggest play, I think, was a gadget play to Tony Pollard. That was our biggest jink. We not scheming these guys open down the field. So Sue me, bro. I don't know why that is. That fumble at the end of the game should have been a fumble for sure. I don't know what that's about. But like I said, you can take those plays out. You can take the refs out. You could take the drop by Curse out of the game, and you could take the missed field goal out of the game, and we still could have won this game, in my opinion. Not even difficult, like easily, if we would have ran the ball. Simmons, he made a hell of a play on that Dak run, right? But Simmons is suspect versus the run when you run at Simmons. We never ran at Simmons. And when we did, we got a hold and play on every time almost on Schultz. Every time we made a big play, they called a hold on somebody. So that was a little suspect too. But fuck the refs, man. Every time we did, though, you can see when we attacked Simmons, it worked. Then we stopped doing it. It's like, listen, man, you know that the refs against you. That don't mean you can't run the ball. You got to run the ball anyway, man. And I feel like we didn't do that enough. It was a lot of that. I'm trying not to be like super doom and gloom and bitching because I still do feel confident in the playoffs that we could play with anybody. I said that. I still feel that way. But I am pissed off with what we put out there. So, I'll let some of y'all jump in there and say what y'all gotta say, man. Make sure you at me when you want me to read what you're saying. Andrew Zumas, what's up? He said we are losing a lot of these games against good teams by one possession at AKOYE. I mean, yeah, yeah, but that shows that we're coming and thinking that we could just show up and beat these teams. It's not speaking much to our ability to assess what we're up against and then attack it and attack it with discipline, not just with your first 15 plays. Pay attention to, if you watch the game again, pay attention to just the little check down passes that we were throwing to Schultz, Zeke, and Pollard right at the line of scrimmage, right over the blitz. They got us 10, 12 yards almost every time. I remember I was talking about this yesterday to Vach and those guys. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and those guys, they're not great because they can dice up any team. That's not what made them great. They were great because they had a philosophy and they were stuck to it. Peyton Manning, if he didn't have anything deep, he was hitting either what was it? I think it was Welker late in his career or a running back. That's all. That's what he was throwing to. He said, man, tight end, Welker, running back all day. So if you could take any of the deep stuff I'm trying to do quick away from me, I'm not trying to negotiate with this team or with the progressions. I'm going straight to one of these check downs and letting them take off and do what they do. You saw how Brady used to use James White. Same concept. James White, if it ain't shit there, James White getting the ball immediately. Why? So he can catch it in stride and go. We'll wait till our guys get out to the flats. They'll just be standing out in the flats waiting for the ball. And by the time Dak goes through 3 progressions and then throws it out there, you've given the defense enough time to carry their man up the field, turn around and see that Dak not throwing deep, come down and then everybody's converging on that flat route. So now that guy's catching the ball, not in stride from a standing position, has to make 4 or 5 guys miss for a first down. Whereas if we just gave him the ball, as soon as we recognize blitz, he takes off. And we did that in the beginning of the game, and it was working. Why go away from that? When we were running ball in the beginning of the game, it was working. We just kept getting holding calls. But why go away from it? It was working. Arizona could have been had on the ground. And if you watch the way the Colts beat Arizona ass on the ground, why would your game plan be, let's do the opposite of that? Let's throw the ball to beat them instead of run the ball, when running the ball is what we've seen has been giving them fits for the last 4 games on their 4-game losing skid. That's been their Achilles heel. So why the hell would we come out saying let's bomb the ball out? That doesn't make any sense. That's just against all conventional wisdom or common sense. That's what my problem with it is. That's what it is. Let's see what else. Jessica sick of us, huh? I hear you, Jessica. I feel you. But man, you could be mad. Yeah, you could be mad, but it's the truth though, Jess. Where we at with it? Somebody else gave me a super chat, I thought. Oh, that must have just still been Elijah John. Yeah, it's Elijah's. Oh no, it's not. A Lavelle was good. He said, "What up, Okoye? Happy New Year to you and your family. What defensive adjustments do we need to make? Go Cowboys, baby." Defensively, I would say the one adjustment I would make would be to tell Trevon as, "Hey man, if you don't got help over the top, stop jumping that short shit because you're making yourself look bad." He's a much better cover corner than he's giving himself credit for. I still don't have him I have him right under 1,000 yards, but I don't know after yesterday. He might be at like 9, but he had 9 something. They had him at 963 coming into the game. But if you look on Pro Football Reference, which is very accurate, been very accurate, They had him at 853 coming in yesterday's game. So he was at 853. So those who think that he wasn't giving up the most yards, he is giving up a hell of a lot of yards, but they had given him an extra 110 yards that he didn't deserve. But yesterday, I think he got close to 1,000. So he under nine, he's nine something or close to 1,000 yards given up this year. And what I would say is to Trevon is, we know you got ball skills, but let it come to you. Stop trying to jump everything because you're giving things away. Um, Outside of that defensive adjustment, I don't think it's an adjustment that we need to really make. Yesterday, the mistake that we did make, though, I think playing Arizona again would be you see you didn't get there even when you were blitzing Micah Parsons all over the place. You weren't getting there because the way you rush Kyler Murray is to make him come to you, meaning take away the pass. Excuse me. Take away the pass successfully, and then once you've taken away the pass successfully, he's going to break down, try to make something happen or extend it anyway, and that's when you get your sacks on him. Don't go get him if you're not going to keep your rush lanes disciplined, and we didn't. We lost integrity on our rush lanes yesterday, and we paid for it. But I would spy Micah Parsons only. I would spy him for most of the game, except for third downs, maybe blitz him. But we kept spying Wilson. He made a hell of a hit on one of those plays, but we kept spying Wilson and Kurtz, which took them off of Ertz, which put we created mismatches with Anthony Brown and some of the corners when they had to cover Ertz. I don't want my corners on Ertz. I want the guy who is there to stop Ertz on Ertz, which is Kurtz. But because we were trying to spy with safeties so that we can still blitz Micah Parsons, those safeties kept getting blocked off by the center. If you watch one of the plays that Kyler ran to the left, all they did was sneak the center out, and he just turned and waited for Wilson, who was on a robber. He out leveraged Wilson and waited for Wilson to try to converge and just block Wilson off an easy run. But you can't do that to Micah Parsons. See what I'm saying? You can't block Micah Parsons, even if you wait for him, even if you scheme for him. That spy busting run or those run designs that are spy busters, they're not gonna work on him. So I would spy Micah Parsons, take away the security blanket and Ertz with Curse and or a little bit of Wilson. Wilson, not so much. I like Wilson still playing that second safety, more so blitzing and bringing pressure if you want to do it that way. And also blitzing Wilson as opposed to Micah Parsons off the edge or blitzing safeties and corners off the edge is something you do against faster quarterbacks because that closing speed is there. So if you say, hey, I like the fact that Micah Parsons can close on him and catch him, send a corner after him and still let Micah spy. That's what I would have done. But hindsight's 2020. I still got all the respect in the world for Dan Quinn. I ain't coming at Dan Quinn at all. I think he even knows what I'm saying because he actually adjusted later in the game. But in the beginning of the game, that's what he was doing. And I can see it, but I haven't watched the film yet either. So once I watch the film, I'll be able to see and assess a little bit more. But from just off the top of my head, Lavelle, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Let's see. You said, why not use McGovern at tight end when we need to run block? I mean, we need that block on that defensive end. Yeah, I think we should have came out in some power looks anyway. Like we weren't doing that half as much yesterday, and I think we kind of outsmarted ourselves. She said, Okoye, Sean McKeon is your best blocking tight end. He's not even on the field. Like, know your personnel. I mean, they say McKeon's our best blocking tight end. I like Schultz's blocking ability though, because Schultz can block and actually receive. I don't know why Sprinkle kept getting out there, but you never know what happened to McKeon in practice. Maybe he was dinged up. Who knows why he didn't go? But yeah, he wasn't a part of the game plan. But that is a good question, Aisha. Dwight Davis, Dak 3 for 11. Kyler Murray missed damn near everybody, and he looked magical. Dak misses wide open receiver, shaking my fucking head. Don't deserve no 40 million. Hey, I ain't here to count the man money. I think at the end of the day, the way the quarterback position is played and paid, Dak worth the money, and Dak gonna do his thing. I don't have a problem with what Dak's capabilities are. It's the way we go about using them. Quarterbacks struggle, and when they do, you don't just keep airing it out like they're not struggling. You run the goddamn football is what you do. That is my issue with them. Like you just going gunsling. Dak not even a gunslinger. Dak is a conservative precision passer when he's comfortable. He's not a gunslinger. He's not the guy he not Brett Favre where you say like let him throw through it. He's not going to throw through it. And once he loses his confidence, he gets jittery and he does dumb shit. He's not throwing through it. So run the ball to make a lot of these looks easier. And when you run the ball, even if we coming out in series and going 3 and out anyway. So for those that we wasn't getting yards running the ball, at least you'd be able to eventually tire out this defense. We weren't doing any of that, especially a defense. And if you can't run the ball against a defense that's coming out and passing looks, then there's a problem. But you can't say that we weren't able to run when we very rarely ran the ball. We ran the ball like once, twice a quarter. Like it was nothing. That was trifling, bro. Trifling. And then every run that we had that actually went somewhere either was a hold or Dak fumbled on the last one. So it's like every run that went somewhere did, we got snake bitten on. Hold on, somebody gave me a super chat. Mr. Oh, what's up? Megatwine. Megatwine. What's good? Big dog. I'm late in the chat. 2 questions. Can Kellen call run plays? That's what I'm talking about now. When Zeke gets the ball, boom, someone in the backfield, and two can Dak be accuracy be fixed. He looked confused with the defense. He was confused. If you look at what Buda Baker said they disguised everything, but we weren't doing any pre-snap motions to uncover what they were doing anyway. So you're not going to unconfuse them by just having them line up and go. And if you are going to have them line up and go, when a defense is going out of their way to try to disguise shit, that means they're out of position somewhere pre-snap. So that's either run or pass. Now it's easier to pinpoint that in the run game than it is the pass game, because the pass game you got to wait post snap and see what's happening and then throw the ball. So if it's not what you want, what Dak needs is a quick key, meaning, okay, even if you don't know what they're doing, if you see you see too high and they rolling up, you're going here with it or you're going there with it. Automatically, there's no negotiation. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying earlier when I was talking about how Peyton Manning and Brady, they didn't see what they were looking for. Check down. I don't see what I'm looking for. Check down. I don't see what I'm looking for. Check down. They'll do that all the way up the field until you start taking that away. Then they're like, all right, now I got something. Or until you're tired or you make a mistake, then they'll kill you. So that's what we need. We don't have any chip shots where it's like we got automatic chip shots. We go for the jugular, and if they ain't there, it's like feast or famine. It's nothing. So good teams aren't going to let you just take the lid off every time you line up. You're going to have to earn some of that. And the only way you earn it is by creating a scheme that counters what they're trying to do to you. And we don't have that right now. We don't have, and shout out to Skywalker because he used the word counter when I was listening to him. And that's actually a good concept. We didn't have a counterpunch for anything the defense was trying to do to us. So shout out to Skywalker still, man, for bringing that to my attention. You hit another one, Megatwine. Much love to my bro AKOYE. Got some respect. Got so much respect for this cat. Appreciate you, bro. Likewise, man. Hit me up too, man. I don't know what you be up to. I don't be down North Carolina no more. So hit me up. I'll hit you up. L Gene, I'm praying that they're saving their ammo for the playoffs. This is the final product. We are one. If this is the final product, we are one and done. Yeah. Can't argue with that. I do think we got a little bit more than this in the tank, though. But to not run the ball, Kellen does not run the ball. He don't believe running the ball. If you look at Zeke's numbers since Kellen's been here, it's been going down. And for those of you who hate Zeke or who feel like Zeke is a problem, I mean, look at the way we've been using Zeke since Kellen's been here as the offensive coordinator. His production is going down each year because Kellen don't run the ball. And even the guy, you got the equivalent to, even if you want to disrespect Zeke by saying, or whatever, however you look at him, you say he Mark Ingram if you want, right? But you got a power back, an Ingram-like power back, and you got a Kamara-like scat back, and you can't use them. That would be like having Christian McCaffrey on your team or Kamara and Ingram on your team and not using them at all, but then wondering why you losing. It don't make no damn sense to not use either one of those guys. You could say what you want about Zeke, but every time I saw Zeke run the ball, there were guys in the backfield on his ass. Block for Zeke and then tell me he can't run the ball. Give him lanes and then say he ain't hitting the hole. Do it. I want to see it at least. It's not happening. It ain't happening. There is no emphasis on mauling anybody. We got maulers and we got talent all over the place, maulers all over the place, but you would think that we don't have talent on this team because we keep trying to scheme our guys, or trick our guys open, like the gadget play with Wilson. Great play, cool, great play design, all that. We shouldn't have to do all that shit to get Tony Pollard open though. He's fucking Tony Pollard. Who can cover Tony Pollard? What linebacker on their team covering Tony Pollard out the backfield? Simmons make a play. Simmons light in the ass. He looked like Diggs as far as his build. He's small as hell, and he play like it when you run at him. Simmons is an athlete linebacker. He is not a freak against the run. You run right at Simmons, and you make him pay all day. Even if you got 2 yards in a puff of smoke, you want Simmons flying on the ground, like falling on the ground over and over again. What you don't do is say, I'm going to run at Chandler Jones like he is slouch. Like, that's what we kept doing. And with a tight end at that. Why you got Schultz trying to block Chandler Jones in any scheme? It don't make sense. It never worked when you were trying it. When you watch the film, Chandler Jones versus the Colts, whenever the Colts would just say, hey, look, man, we're just going to run right at Chandler Jones, it was nada. But when they cut back off of Chandler Jones, meaning they started their run play towards that side and then cut back towards Simmons, every time they did that, they got yards. I mean, every time they did it, they got yards, 5 or more. Every time they did it. But I understood when they were running directly at Chandler, it was, even though they weren't getting yards when they did it, it was to keep him honest, knowing that, hey, we will run at you. So that kept him honest, and then that kept the defense leaning that way so that they could open up those cutback lanes. So that's what I was thinking Kellen was doing when he started it. I'm like, okay, he's setting them up for a counter off of this because he running at Chandler. He know better than that. You know, he gonna do something else. Then he just never ran the ball again. He just stopped running the ball. And if we go down, he ain't never running again if we go down. We get into the red zone, though, after being down. First play, I think it was the first play of the fourth quarter, something like that. Maybe. I don't remember what time it was. But then we run the ball. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you? Kellen, I don't even like saying the R word, but Kellen is slow. I don't care what nobody say, man. I'm not feeling him. He's smart when it comes to play design. Dumb as hell when it comes to play calling. Can't nobody tell me no different than that. I don't care if you take the Jacksonville job. I'm hoping you take it. If you don't take the Jacksonville job, I don't know, but I don't want him calling my plays in situational football. You know, piss me off, man. A lot of things happened yesterday. They say McCarthy need to call the plays. I don't know about that either. I don't know who need to be calling, but whoever need to call him need to be a guy who got some fucking hair on his chest or something, man. Because Kellen is soft as fuck when it comes to calling plays. He ain't thinking about harming anyone. Like, dog, you got people you can pick on. You saw Murphy. Murphy went in motion, right, against Wilson. They had Murphy one-on-one against Wilson. Wilson go in pre-step motion. Murphy knows he can't outrun Wilson, so he's Brandon Murphy, I think his name is. Byron Murphy, whatever his name is. But he running full speed. You know what I mean? Wilson stops pre-snap and then runs back out wide open. They see that? How many times we did that? One. If they see that we have trouble with the crossing routes and we wasn't getting our pass rush there, because the only reason AB and Jordan Lewis was having trouble with the deep cross, because the deep cross is one of the hardest throws to cover, but also one of the hardest throws to hit because it requires that your guy gets all the way across the field. So you got to have time to do that. So that means that can't be your first progression because that's a developing timing route. Your first progression is somewhere else. So that means if your quarterback can get through that progression and get to that cross more than 4 or 5 times a game, your pass rush is something wrong with that pass rush, because that's why AB used to get killed before. He always get killed on rub routes and crossing routes. You know why? Because we ain't had no pass rush before, right? Same thing's happening now, like in that game in particular. But we weren't able to take advantage of them doing the same thing where they couldn't cover us going left to right. They can cover you going straight up the field. That's what they're good at. They can't cover going left to right because they blitz. Buda Baker was in the backfield more than Micah Parsons. Buda Baker, they blitz Buda Baker so much. There's no way you got Buda Baker blitzing as much as he blitzing and nobody's open. There's nothing open unless you running right where they are, which is deep. Then when they blitz and they're not gonna let you get behind them, they want you to throw short into the outside. That's what they're giving you. You know why? So that those guys that are covering deep in that cover 3 shell or cover 4 shell can have time to converge down on those short throws, and then those guys that were blitzing can turn around and kind of mushroom in on you. So They're a fast, athletic defense. They are not a man covered defense. Name me, Murphy is not a shutdown corner. So name me another corner on 18. They don't have none. That's like, God damn, this dude. You know what I'm saying? They average corners, all of them. Average corners. They got Buda Baker. That's the best player in their secondary, and that about it. That about it. You know what I'm saying? Their strength is up front, and they don't even have Watt, who you would think, okay, that's a game buster. Then you got Watt having to deal with Watt and Jones, and then Hendricks in the middle, and then some Golden. Those three, I would have said we have a problem. Golden wasn't there, Watt ain't there. It's just Jones. And Simmons is suspect versus the run. And y'all let the boy Xavier and Collins get in there and make a play when his ass was benched earlier this season because he's a bum. He a bum right now. You know what I'm saying? So to watch that, watch us not be able to pick apart Peterson. What Peterson? That ain't Patrick Peterson over there. That's another Peterson over there. I don't know who that is. I don't know that Peterson. I know Patrick Peterson. He ain't no Pat Pete. Do we beat the Cardinals in the rematch, Miz Money? We can if we run the ball. Yeah, we can. I don't know if we do. We can though. I just want to see it. He said Mike McCarthy's a Super Bowl winning coach. Why don't you help Moore come up with running plays? What was he doing when he took that year off? I think they got great running plays. I've seen some in this on this team. We don't have an identity though. It's like if you don't know the answer, you ever try to do something multiple choice, but you don't know the answer? If you do C every time, you'll be right half the time or some shit like that. But if you don't know the answer and you just keep picking at random, sometimes you're gonna be right. That's the way we run the ball. It's like we don't have an identity though, where we say we run like a B style. That's what we run. We run it like this. And then when that don't work, we going shift to something like this. But that's it. This is the way we like to run the ball, right? We don't have a way we like to run the ball. We run. We'll pick this game. We'll be running out the shotgun. Next game we'll be running out the 11 personnel. Next game we running out 12. And the Chargers game we ran out of 12 personnel. It worked, and then we never do that again the rest of the season. See what I'm saying? Then we running out of the shotgun the rest of the season. We don't have a way of running that is our style. That's our problem. And when we identify it, it's like we don't realize that we did it. It's like if you watch boxing, right? Sometimes you hurt a guy and you don't recognize that you hurt him because you're not paying attention to the cues, or he might be disguising it real well. So you don't go back to that punch that did it and he survives, right? It's the same way we run the ball. We'll hit something like Zeke, that play where Zeke hits like 20 yards. I'm like, okay, that's something. We ran right up the gut, we ran right at him, and we ran right at Simmons. We got some yards off it. And then we never go back to that. So when you see things like that, that's letting you know that there is no mindset for this is how we're going to do things moving forward. And we let the circumstances that are happening dictate what we're going to do and how we're going to move. It's like he gets discouraged by long distances, long yardage, no draw plays ever. I'm like, yo, when you keep getting those holding calls, y'all remember this because we were known for it, especially Tony Romo. We would have plays where we did all kinds of stupid shit. Where Tony Romo, I remember the Rams game. Tony Romo, the ball go over his head, he run back, catch the ball, run back up, only get like 1 yard out of it. Marion Barber against the Patriots, 1 yard out of that. Like we had plays that went backwards all the time, or we had plays where we started off because Andre Garrall we used to hold, guys used to hold. So we'll have drives where we started off first and 15, first and 27, and still turn those drives into something. That's what good teams can do. But you know what we used to do when we get in those situations? A draw play. Because we know they thinking that we throwing our way out of it. We would do draw plays. We don't do no draw plays. And when we do, they actually do work. Zeke had a game. What game was that? Not last game before last. I think it was. Where I didn't even think Zeke legs was able to do this because I thought his leg was too tore up, but he shut me up with this. It was like a 13-yard touchdown run that he had against either the Redskins or the team in between. I don't remember. I think it might have been the team in between the Redskins game. But anyway, I don't remember who we played. I don't even remember what it was that we was playing. Might have been the Giants. But gave him a draw play. Boom, he take off 13 yards. I'm like, damn, that worked. You know why? Because they had their ears pinned back coming for us. Draw plays work when teams think that you're in obvious passing situations. And we didn't do any of that either. So it's like, what is our running philosophy? We just randomly, let's pick a running play. And if it work, it work. And if it don't work, if we don't get no yards in the first one, we're discouraged. We're not doing that again for another 2 quarters. It's like that's how he treated because he's a quarterback. And I don't think he likes running the ball, man. Mobile SMS local thought about you after the game, and I'm with you 100%. Appreciate that, bro. It ain't like I'm not even trying to build like no coalition of the willing or no shit like that, man. It's just frustration. Yago, what's good? Yago, what's up? One thing I hate is they keep throwing the Zeke instead of Pollard. Then at the end they throw the Pollard. Yeah, they act like Pollard is not a real wide receiver. Like feelings got to get out of it. We just got to start doing what works, in my humble opinion. You know what I'm saying? Get your feelings out the way and just start doing what works. I got another super chat in here somewhere. Where you at? I know I seen another 20 pop up there somewhere. There you go. B Wee. AKOYE, thank you. I'm pissed and the haters are proved correct. I battled defending my team and thinking we're legit. Then Dak pisses down his leg. 4 is straight scary, nervous in the pocket. Kellen isn't a Super Bowl play caller. Hey, you see when you say things like that, right? My first instinct, because y'all know I'm like super, you know, I'm just a aggressive person when it comes to debating. And I was doing that all yesterday against Mike Tyke, John S., all y'all guys. They was in there talking so much shit, right? They Cowboys fans, but they was talking a lot of shit. And it made it so that I can't even say nothing back at the end of the game. I'm like, what the hell I'm gonna say? Y'all sound right. What's up? All right. All right. Hit it. Yep. I'm on live. You want to wait? I'll go with you. No, go ahead. Just go ahead. No, go ahead. Get your workout in. Go ahead. I don't want to hold you up. Go ahead. All right. See you when you get back. My son. He about to be bigger than me, man. That boy's 17 now, but he's strong as hell. Robert Bass, appreciate it. He said, "AKOYE, Happy New Year." But yeah, I can't even debate with these guys because they cut my legs out. Megatwine, we had time in the pocket to be able to make plays. Punishing football, Kellen Moore. Hold on, it moved. Kellen Moore don't like to play. We forget about who Zeke really is. Zeke really is punish you until you don't want to hit anymore. That's a fact. You can't do that with Zeke's style is not you run him 3 times and then call him a bum. If you do that, if you'd have did that to Eddie George would have been nothing. He said himself, I need 30 carries. Zeke need 30 carries, but we know he's not gonna get it. So if you're not gonna get your 30 carries, that's cool. But he need at least 20. Give him the goddamn ball. And then if he's getting 20 carries a game and he's doing 12 yards, then we know we got a problem. And if you're actually blocking for them, boy, like block for him and then tell me he ain't got shit. Mike Tyke, what's up, bro? He said, you noticed that the Packers already clinched last week, but are still playing lights out. Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, I know you did too. You want to be a Packers fan? Go ahead. I think they hiring. Like, go in there and say, yo, y'all niggas hiring? They might like that. So the question is, are they bullying the offense or the OC? They bullying the OC. The offense, they can play if you put look at Mike Gallup play and tell me that he getting bullied. Michael Gallup went up and got that jump. Look at Coop when you actually throw Coop the ball. They not getting bullied nowhere. Look at Zeke when you actually give him a play where he can run out in the open field. You know what I'm saying? He gonna hit something. Alpha Mason, reminder to smash that like button. LOL, salute, bro. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, make sure y'all hit that like. I got 274 people in here, 133 likes. So I'm gonna give y'all a second, man. Go ahead, hit them likes. That's some good ass tea, man. B we again, thank you, man. Y'all going in today. I guess y'all pay me only when we lose. Like, tell them why you mad, son. I'll pay for that. But when I'm happy, they don't pay nothing. I'm a huge Dak fan, also not a hater. I don't know why he's looking this way. Kyler looked poised all day. No, he didn't. I wouldn't say Kyler looked poised. Kyler was missing a lot of plays too, and we didn't make him pay for it because we were giving him easy looks. Like I said, the reason he was getting those easy looks is because he was buying time with his legs, and they weren't calling holding calls either. But we got holding calls every time we did anything. They got none. I don't remember very many anyway. I think it might have been one holding call that they actually called, but there was one play with D Law. He was near the goal line. D Law almost tore his head off, and they was holding. You know, so Kyler Murray is he's hard to get to, and that was the problem I think we had, which was we tried to go after him a little bit too much. I think a sort of like two gap type of rush where we're containing would have worked a lot better against him, because when he can't get the ball downfield, that gives you your rush doesn't have to be fast. It just has to be consistent. Because when he can't get the ball downfield, he pulls the ball down to try to look anyway. And when he's doing that, you have opportunities. But we didn't do that quite enough, in my opinion. Yes, Wanth 100. It's because you give us validation on whom to hate on for the loss. That's why y'all like the who fault is this? Yeah, this is a combination of Kellen and Dak, man. Dak Dak has to overcome a lot of the things that and that's showing. Like, listen, man, it's team like Brady. It's the guys that's like, look, man, I'm doing this regardless of what y'all call it. Oh, fuck that. I'm calling the audible. We doing this because I know this gonna work. Do it then. Do it. If that's what it takes, do that. But I don't see none of that. I'm like I said, I'm not on no doom and gloom though. I feel like the reason I'm mad is because I think we can beat the Cardinals without our A game. We could have that wasn't our A game yesterday, and I think we should have beat them yesterday. They didn't do anything spectacular. Nothing. I wish they watched your videos. This T Gordon. What's up, Mayhaw? I wish they watched your videos. Your assessment of the opposition is spot on. Watching the game is frustrating because of what you have shown. Exactly. So you watch anybody who watched the only like 2,700 of y'all watched that, but anybody who watched the pregame that I did with Sky on his channel, shout out to Sky again. We said it. The Colts, either side of the line, because of the way they blitz, you chip and go. So chip with your running back, spill him out, and just throw him the ball immediately. Not, and there's no play called, meaning I don't care what you called out there. When you see that they blitzing, okay, Schultz or Zeke, y'all chipping and going, and we were doing it. That's the crazy thing. So they knew that would work because they did it and then stop, and then also cut back one cut power running game is what works. So when you put your foot in the ground, you start off towards Chandler Jones and then you beeline straight for Simmons. It works every time, man. Every time. I don't know why we were doing it with Schultz instead of having linemen getting onto their. We want linemen on their linebackers and on their secondary. We weren't doing any of that. Dak is 0-5 is now 0-5 when the offense fails to have at least 108. Submissive Lover, you've been saying that in my comments. Like, is this copy and paste? Because you've been saying this exact same thing since yesterday. Like, I don't even think you're a real person. Submissive Lover is like, it's some bull somewhere in like Kentucky. And that's not a lady. I really don't think so. Not coming at you, but I'm just saying you be copying and pasting the shit out that all day long. You've been saying that since last night on every comment at that. Like, it's like when the Chinese geisha girls get into your chat, the little spammer Jones, and they say the same thing in every comment. You be doing that. That's called like spamming comment. But anyway, he said no one is giving me an answer. What's the answer? What's the question? You're not asking a question. You said Dak is now. That's a statement. Dak is now 0-5 when the offense fails to have at least 108 rushing yards. And there's 6 games the Cowboys failed to have 108 rushing yards. Cooper Rush was 1-0. Dak is 0-5. Oh, I hear you. You coming for his neck. You coming for his. I mean, you might be a Dak. You might not like Dak. You know what I mean? I ain't mad at that. If he give you ammunition and not like him, who am I to defend him? So if you don't like him because of what he putting out on the field right now, I always say this: you cannot like him, but you better have an answer. Just like you cannot like the government, you can say revolution will not be televised and all this other bullshit, right? But if you don't know nothing about civics, hunting, infrastructure, or nothing, then you better leave the structure as it is because your ass don't know what to do to replace it. So it's the same thing with Dak. You can hate him, but what's your alternative? You better hope that he get better because it ain't like we can get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we stuck with Dak. So you got to make that work. Jamal Wilson, appreciate it. Got to get Cooper Lamb involved early every game, 100%. I think there's somebody else in here. I think Alpha Mason. did a super chat. Or that might have been old. Let me see. I don't want to miss nobody. That's why. Yeah, I got you on this one, Alpha Mason. I think I got that one already. So you said, why is that the case? Why is what the case? Speculate. What you mean? You gotta be specific with your question. Submissive lover. Okoye, bro, much love, Cowboys all day, but man, no blocking, no spy, no CBs getting burnt, no holdings on them, and we have a hell of a D line refs game for real. A D line refs game for real. What you mean? You said you thinking that the game was on the refs? Yeah, yeah. I mean, we did block okay. As far as the pass, we didn't block well versus the run. The spy should have been Micah Parsons all day because I think that would have been what. Then we, if you want to go get him, like if you want to take that go get him approach where we're gonna go blitz him, then go get him with Randy Gregory and Law and let them do whatever they want, and then Micah Parsons can be that eraser. You don't go with Micah because if he don't get there, he misses. Gregory and Law can kind of catch him, but not as easy as Parsons. Parsons can go get him. So I feel like that was our only problem on defense, our main problem. Michael Parsons should have just been in the middle of the field this game. Um, Submissive lover. Anarchy is ethically and morally superior alternative to this structure, both in your odd government comparison. There was odd, wasn't it? And Dak Rush is better. He can handle not having massive rushing contributions. So you're saying that Cooper Rush would be the answer to Dak Prescott? Oh man, I don't know. You probably say like Hell Hitler or something after that. I don't know where that came from. You tripping. You like Hell Hydra. You tripping on that one. I don't know why you even think that. Cooper Rush, I won't even argue that. Ran plays away from Micah. They ran plays away from Micah. Yeah, facts. You knew they was gonna do that. I can't even argue that. No, she ain't trolling. She's serious. She is serious. Said, I love the Cowboys, but the fans are the worst. Crazy. I saw our QB getting hit more. Our wide receivers dropped balls, kickers missed, special teams gave up fourth down. Yep. Lost turnover battle. Coaching not prepared for the fourth down. Kick on the end zone, no running game, and not stopping the run. We stopped the run. You lying on that one. That's the only thing I could say we did. We damn sure stopped the run. Something crazy. Is Wilson better in this scheme than Gallup? Tough question. Gallup doesn't get enough opportunities for me to say what he is. We use when you use a guy one way, you know, in a different way than you did when he initially got here. It's kind of hard to say he's not able to do other things. Like Gallup used to be our drag route guy, our middle of the field guy, our slant guy. Now he's just the X guy. Just throw a deep back shoulder. That's all we do with him. That's all Dak does with Gallup. He don't do nothing else. And some button hooks. That's it. We used to do everything with Gallup. I've seen Gallup kill you on hitch routes, slant routes, all kinds of routes. We don't do any of that stuff with him anymore because we like to work CD Lamb in the middle of the field now and Wilson too in the middle of the field. So I would say because the way we use Wilson, Wilson is more like it's like saying is Julian Edelman better than a true number one receiver? No, but if you're gonna throw Julian Edelman the ball against linebackers and mismatches in the middle of the field, he's gonna seem a lot more effective. That's for sure. But if you just said Julian Edelman line up out there and beat somebody, he ain't beating shit, nothing. Or Danny Amendola. Not saying Wilson is those guys. I think Wilson can do some stuff for you outside, but Wilson inside, his quickness and ability to change direction creates a lot of mismatches. So I think you just notice him more, just like we notice Lamb more because they're lining up against linebackers, and they should be killing linebackers. They should be killing linebackers. Point blank. Period. It's looking very like Cowboys get the fourth seed. Do you see them hosting the Cardinals and then winning in Green Bay? Um, I think this defense can do. anything. I think the Cardinals is, to me, a little more dangerous than Green Bay because you got more field to cover due to the fact that Murray is going to run. I think that's what gave us the most trouble. But I'm not mad at our defense. Like giving up 25 points to a team that took forever to get going too. They only got going because we kept getting calls that stopped us. Like so, it's not like they were like just came out the gate killing us. It was like 3-0 for a while or nothing for a little while. So I mean, I can't say that the Cardinals are so scary that we can't beat them. I wouldn't even dare say that. I'm sitting here arguing because I think they're very beatable. And do I think we could beat Green Bay? Of course, because Aaron Rodgers is a guy that's like he's not running anywhere. He's gonna be there. So that's a guy. That's a game where you just let Micah Parsons run loose. And if you can stop Micah Parsons for 30 rushes a game with the help of D Law and Gregory and the rest of those guys, then you should win the game. But I don't think that the Packers can. I think we can have a lot more success if we can get past the first round and get past the Cardinals. I think we have a lot of success against whoever we play after that because I feel like we match up well against everybody in the playoff hunt right now. The Rams, I think we can play them very well. I would say in that game, Trayvon, hey man, don't be playing around with Odell because he will roast you if you do. But you know, I think the Rams we match up well against. We already know we can beat the Eagles if they make it. I hope they don't. I don't like them. Who else? You got Tampa Bay. They seem to be going in the opposite direction. And the guy who was killing us for them was AB, and he just saw his last down as a football player, in my opinion. I don't know what happened. I think they must have said something to him, like they benched him so he couldn't get paid or something. I think that's what they said, and he snapped out. So if that's what they did, like, yo, we gonna make sure he don't play the rest of this game, so we don't gotta pay him X amount of money. Uh, that's enough to piss a guy off. I mean, you play with somebody's money. I don't know. That's what I heard, but I don't know if that's the story. Also, just throwing this out there, this is Mike Tyke. Amari Cooper plays with zero emotion, zero. That matters to me. Amari Cooper is not a. Everybody don't get up and scream. Amari Cooper play with emotion though. Amari Cooper he's just a calm assassin. Like, you don't want everybody emotional, man. If I'm sending some killers somewhere, I don't want them to be emotional. I want them to be surgical. That's Amari Cooper. He's surgical dude, man. Um, Andrew Zumas is looking very like. Oh, you already said that. I already said that. Special K, did she watch that Vikings game? Rush missed countless throws. Hey man, y'all entertaining that. That's you see, I stepped away from that. It's like when you get up and you start talking to somebody that seems like they got some sense and they start saying some super crazy shit. Cause I say some crazy shit. I'm a conspiracy theorist and all that. So I might say, hey man, you know that you know what melanin can do? You know what I'm saying? I might say some crazy shit. And you might scratch your head like, I don't know what's wrong with this guy. But she says some shit that make me scratch my head. So I said, I gotta step away from that. You know what I mean? It's like she just start talking crazy. I was like, oh, she really making that argument. Like Cooper Rush is the answer. Like, get out of here. DJ's World. Akoye, first time in a loss this year, I would not put a sizable amount of blame on play calling. Why not? Why not? Did it, you got an uncomfortable quarterback, right? He's clearly uncomfortable. Did you see there were plays where it would be like third down, bro? Everybody running deep. Nobody's there in the middle of the field for short to intermediate routes at all. What kind of routes are you running? It would be like running two fly routes, two posts, and then a running back in blocking. There's nobody to throw the ball to. So Dak had to hold it a lot. I saw that a lot, and I saw that in the live game. I don't even need the film for that. Keefe Floyd was good. Calling it now. Rams and Tampa Bay will lose wild card week. The boys need to eliminate these momentum killers, kicker and drops. Yeah, Zerline does scare me in the playoffs, man. Zerline scares me because I mean he done missed a lot of kicks this year and crucial kicks at that. And the games that we're losing to these good teams, that's what you remember the Patriots used to play the Colts all the time. What would it come down to? Kicks, field goals, shit like that, down to the wire. That's how you win tough games against tough teams. You need your kicker. You can't be missing kicks when you're playing other good teams who can also bring it. You got to be able to kick the ball. So that's a problem. Here she go again. Dude lost the last 5 games because he didn't have at least 108 rushing yards, and you have a guy on the bench who won one of those games. But I'm crazy, laughing my ass off. You're definitely smarter than that. I am smarter than that, but you smart enough to know that Cooper Rush is a backup quarterback in this league for a reason. So, if you were to come in here and say that there was another quarterback out there that you thought was the caliber of a Dak Prescott, even if you wanted to go get Mr. Massage Boy, uh Eastside Harold's homie. I see Eastside Harold stop talking when I start talking about Deshaun Watson's extracurriculars. But even if you wanted to say that, I can argue with you there. But I'm not going to try to put Cooper Rush against a Dak Prescott. Do I think that they need to do things differently to help Dak and start to realize that, hey, man, Dak ain't a gunslinger. Dak's a guy that knows how to win a game if you keep him in it, but he definitely need a balanced offense. Dak is not a spread guy where, we don't need to run. That's not his game. He need a running back. So he need a offensive coordinator that believes in the running game. You could say a lot about Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan, but they understood at least that late in Romo's career, the thing that helped Romo the most was having a solid rushing attack where he could just turn around, hand the ball off. He don't see nothing he like, or this series, or they've been busting my ass. I remember the Redskins used to tear Romo up. You know what he do? Hand the ball to DeMarco Murray and say, "Look, we just gonna run the ball until y'all get tired." Because I'm tired of getting my neck broke trying to play y'all. You know what I mean? So I think we need that and incorporate it in our offense and do it in a stubborn way where we're definitely running the ball. Not, hey, we're gonna sprinkle some runs in because I heard y'all complaining about the run, so we're gonna do some running. That's how he run the ball. It's like we're gonna do it because you said something, but you're not doing it because you really want to do it. You know what I mean? Can we trade Dak and Zeke for Deshaun Watson? Oh my God. Y'all right when y'all say the fans are the worst, man. Damn. She said she wanted Teddy Bridgewater. I'd happily tolerate Rush, but there's others I'd prefer. But signing them now, not an option. Rush, how is she still serious on this Rush shit? That is crazy. That is crazy. Oh man, that's almost laughable. You just brought brightened up my day with this crazy shit. McCarthy, biggest mistake was hiring Mike Nolan. His second biggest mistake was choosing Kellen over John Kitna. This offense looked like 2019 all over. Um, I mean, that Mike Nolan hiring gets a lot of hell, but y'all act like it wasn't a COVID year. I don't even I put that as an asterisk on both of him and Mike Nolan. Now, if this year we would have came out with the same type of product, it would have been a problem. But Mike Nolan, I don't discredit Mike Nolan for having to deal with something that nobody in the world has ever had to deal with. The world literally changed for everybody in 2020 and never will be the same. So to say that a guy who maybe used to coach in a certain style couldn't coach that style because everything was different. They didn't even have a real off season. So it's kind of hard to get your defense on the same page with that. But he didn't do it, and he had to scapegoat somebody. He damn sure couldn't come into the same season with Mike Nolan and say, let's try it again because it was that bad. But I don't think that I couldn't call it a mistake by Mike McCarthy because I can understand why the team looked like it looked. It wasn't like it was if it was this year, I can understand it. You know what I mean? Let's see what we got here. All right, man. Any other questions? Make sure you're at Akoye Media. Put the full thing in there. Say what you need to say. I'm gonna go ahead and run them off. But I'm on some. Let's do the film tomorrow and get it popping. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna jump into the film. I'll probably jump on live again after that too. Maybe we'll do the film live. I don't know. That's hard as hell to do. It's annoying. But I'll have to set up my Zoom and do the film live. Maybe I'll do that. Y'all can call in and talk or something, man. But uh, yeah, hit me up with any questions y'all got left. My energy is waning because I'm annoyed. And the submissive lover, appreciate you. You ain't submissive when it come to Dak, though. I tell you that. We need Dan Quinn as head coach next year. Y'all dudes, man. 11-4. Let's fire. What's 11-5? Let's fire everybody. Fools think trading and Zeke and keeping Pollard as our number one is going to work. Shaking my head. LOL, man. Get off the snuff, people. Like kids. Wow. That's new. It keeps moving. That's new and fast. He could be number one. That's new and fast. He can be number one. Gonna get him hurt. Yeah, he not a um. Look at what's his name? McCaffrey and Kamara. When those dudes don't have a complimentary power back to get some of the short stuff, the way they run, they are shifty guys that know how to break tackles, just like Pollard. But he's not your number one guy. He's not your guy that you say you want running the ball 30 times, 20 times ever. He's a 12 to 15 touch guy, and that's what they need to be. And they can be that. Think of Brian Westbrook. Remember Westbrook? Those types of guys are the types of running backs that Pollard is. That's how he is. He's not a guy that you want to be your feature back ever, but he doesn't need to be to get his yards. He can get his yards off of 10 carries. So you just need to make sure he needs to get the damn 10 carries though. Get him. If he don't get if you stop him 10 times, then you did that. Yeah, good job. But he ain't been stopped all year. How do you see a dude averaging like 7 yards a carry and you can't figure out a way to give him the ball, Kellen? So the guy DJ who said that you ain't see nothing wrong with the play calling, he got the ball 3 times for 9 yards. And then they was throwing him the ball, but that don't count. Let him run the rock. Mott Mosley, do you think they need to move from this offensive system next year? Yep. I think we need to go to more of a power system. Thoughts on Diggs? I'm half and half on Diggs. Like, I like Diggs a lot. I think Diggs is changing the way we're gonna play corner. And I want to say this about Diggs. Diggs has gotten a lot of interceptions, right? This first year. I mean, second year. He's gotten a lot of interceptions. But we keep forgetting that Diggs is only a second year player. That's all. He's a little hyperactive right now when it comes to jumping everything, but he's a second year player. He's going to be great. I don't have a problem with Diggs. I don't have a problem with the yards he gave up because he has a problem with the yards that he's giving up. So the fact that he has a problem with that, you know that he's going to correct that in the offseason. Last year, he had a problem with the amount of interceptions he dropped, and you see he corrected that, right? So he's the type of guy that doesn't like anybody saying anything about him, I guess. So I think he's going to come back out next year and in the playoffs and give us what we're looking for: sound cornerback technique and football play. He is giving up yards over there though, so we'll get you that. I will get that. Can't lie about that. He does give up yards. Um, Now, my thoughts on whether or not he can do something for. I think that's my daughter calling me all crazy. Hello. Yep. Hold on, Lee. I'm gonna call you right back. I'll be right there. Okay. I'm about to come get you. All right. Go get mommy. I know. I love you. I'm get out here in a second. Baby girl ready. All right, listen. D Lunatic, would you risk more fastball offense or putting the defense in longer on the field if it doesn't if it does not click? What do you mean? Would I change from the fastball offense approach? If that's what you're asking, yeah, I think we need to slow it down and actually eat some clock so that the defense can rest because you got a high power defense. We need an offense that complements that, and this one does not. We go out and play like we don't know what our defense can do. Like we go out and play like we don't know that if we just score on every drive. Listen, 3 points, don't matter what you're scoring, get up the field and get in the scoring position methodically. Every drive, just eat up clock. Even if you don't score, eat up as much clock and let's play some field position because this defense will get you a turnover on their end of the field, something like that. Like, let's go. That's the way we should be approaching the games. We're not approaching it like that. We approach it as if we're still an offensive team that got to overcome its defense, which is hurting its defense. So, good point, D Lunatic. Isaac Hampton, you think we should keep Kelvin starting? No. Kelvin, okay, right now. I don't think he's ready yet. That's just my opinion. He not ready. I wouldn't want two guys out there that's like jumping to try to make shit happen. I think Kelvin would. You need guys like Lewis and AB who are more conservative and consistent. When you have a guy who's going to play 3 card Monty like Diggs out there, you can't be doing that all over the field because you'll be having like people be getting double move on both sides. You have shit open everywhere. You know what I mean? I really do believe that. And Kelvin is one of those guys who's looking to make a name and a big splash. So he's gonna jump out there and do some crazy stuff for you. Hit the like button for those who haven't already. Moderators, make sure y'all getting on them with that. Make sure they hitting that like button. Choctaw, Montana, 808. What's up with you, bro? Long time no hear from too. Do you think Kellen, Joe Philbin, Greg, and Nussmeier need to be replaced? No, I think just Kellen. I think Joe Philbin had this offensive line doing some things in the beginning of the season. I like what they were doing. I just don't like what they did with the shuffling around and all this non-committal shit. Just they're not committing to anything. That's just a problem. Mott Mosley, do you think they need to oh, you already answered that. Answered that. Happy New Year to y'all. Michael, we need Quinn. I read that too. Yeah, I think I got all these questions. So let's see if there's any more, then we out of here. He said games are deaf. Games deaf are rigged. The NFL really wants the Rams to be number 2 seed so they can make some money for the SoFi Stadium. 100, maybe, because the way they calling plays, the way the refs calling these plays is crazy. Angelica Barone was good. I had a teacher named Miss Barone. That's why I always know your name when I see it. I had a teacher named Miss Barone. Yeah, she was cool. She was cool, but she was a stripper. But she was my math teacher. She's a stripper on her, I guess, night job. Don't be a stripper, Angelica. No offense, but she really was. I'm not lying. Adrian Kelvin is feisty. Yeah, he is. It's about the money. He said, "What the fuck?" D Black. Who do you see guarding Devontae Adams? That's gonna be Trayvon. Yeah, Miss Barone was bad. Math and she said math and a stripper. That's interesting. That's an interesting W2 statement. That's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact though. But it's true. Yeah, man. All right. I'm gonna go get my daughter and have some fun, man. But it's been good venting. But listen, next week we got the Eagles. I want us to go in there and tear the Eagles up just because at the end of the day, let's send them into the playoffs if they make it. Let's send them in there banged up. If y'all haven't hit the like button yet, hit it. For those of you who super chatted, all my AKs who've been supporting the channel, I truly appreciate it. DJ's World said Dak is an expert at football theory. He knows where the ball should go against coverages, but if the windows are too tight, he doesn't pull the trigger. That is true and false because he knows what needs to be done, yes. But his issue is more so post snap issues. So they know pre snap, if he can read what you're doing, he going to dice you up because he does know those things. Post snap, his instincts, I guess we agree in there because post snap, his instincts aren't as quick. He's not as quick to decipher what's happening if you disguise it well, But that comes with time. Quarterbacks who've been in the league a while eventually start, catching those things, and then you can't trick them at all. Then you just gotta, hope for the best. But yeah, later for all y'all. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. But talk to y'all soon.